What's up, everybody? Welcome to West Nale Virus. Big day yesterday. First round NFL draft.
Yup.
We're here to react, give our opinions. We're going to go through every pick of the first round. I don't know about you, Josiah, but I'm ready to do a live stream sometime. Share these videos so that we actually get viewers on the live stream.
Yes.
Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, West Nale Virus, Nale, Nale. West Nale Virus on YouTube. Subscribe, like, hit all those buttons down there. Go ahead.
Yep.
And comment. Let's do this because we are on our lunch break doing this.
Yes.
Pick number one. Your guy, Josiah. Trayvon Walker. Edge rusher out of Georgia. Reaction to him going number one.
I was a little surprised that he did actually end up going number one, but I'm happy to see him get the chance to prove himself. And I think he should be a really good player in the NFL. Every player does depend a little bit on their team that they're on and how the coaches are and development and things like that. But I think Trayvon Walker should be good. I think he's got a lower floor than Aiden Hutchinson because I believe Aiden Hutchinson is a little more polished already than Trayvon Walker is. Right. But I think Trayvon Walker is the better athlete, and I think he's got enough skill to actually succeed in the NFL. So I think it should be a pretty good pick. I don't want to give it like an A+ grade, but it's definitely like I'd say A- grade. I think it's a solid pick. I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
I agree. I'll go A-. Biggest riser in the draft for sure. I mean, we heard like late coming in that Trayvon Walker, he's probably going to go number one. The Jags like him. You can't go wrong with any of the top five. I would say seven picks. They all could have gone number one. It's crazy.
It is crazy.
So, I mean, Trayvon Walker, A- to the Jags, but it's good. They have Josh Allen there. So you got Trayvon Walker and Josh Allen.
Yeah.
That's a scary D line. And they need that.
Yeah, absolutely. Pick number 2, Aiden Hutchinson from Michigan, edge rusher again. Second edge rusher to the Detroit Lions this time. He gets to stay in Michigan, which is actually something we both talked about a lot. I think it's really big that they're picking someone from their state already. Yes. That's big for fan interaction, and he's already got a fan base. Everyone already knows him. Everyone loves Aiden Hutchinson in Michigan, and now he gets to keep playing in Michigan. He plays for the other team they cheer for. So there you go.
Yeah, I think it's an A. Great pick.
Yeah, great pick. It's A for sure. Yeah, solid A.
You can't go wrong with these picks.
No. Derek Stingley Jr. to the Houston Texans, cornerback from LSU.
Okay, not your favorite cornerback in the draft, not my favorite cornerback in the draft, but arguably the best cornerback in the draft.
Arguably the best cornerback.
Yeah.
He
not going to take that away.
No, absolutely not. He was he hasn't played a lot the past few seasons. He's been injured a fair amount. And some people have talked about how they don't like his run defending, but they call him inconsistent usually. He's a really flashy cornerback, and I think he should be a good corner in the league. He might have a couple of holes on his game, but I think in terms of just coverage, I think he'll be a good corner, and that's what really matters.
Yeah. Great athlete. He'll be, it's a good pick. Another great pick you can't go wrong with.
Yeah. I'd say
if I'm a Texans fan, I'm happy with it.
Yeah. I don't love it for the Texans. I think the Texans should have gone offensive line or defensive line. But it could be really good. I don't know.
Pick 4, New York Jets. They went with Ahmad Gardner, Sauce, corner, Cincinnati. My favorite cornerback in the draft.
He's a really good corner.
Yep. Good fit. I think he's a good fit for New York. He'll be good. They needed that.
Yeah, they do. They've already got some good defensive linemen on their team. Upgrading their defensive line wouldn't have been bad, but I think this is a good pick for them. By the way, Houston Texans pick, I'd say B+.
Oh, yes. Yeah, B+.
For this one, I'd say a solid A.
Same. A.
Okay. Pick number 5. Kayvon Thibodeau, defensive end or edge rusher from Oregon, goes to the New York Giants. I think this was
really
the best
like
pick
this.
they could have made.
Yes, I really like this pick.
Absolutely. He's got huge upside. I mean, everyone's got a pretty low floor in terms of
top 5.
He gets injured. Done. But this guy's got a huge upside. And he's really explosive. Just he will run down your throat kind of to get to the QB. And he's really good.
Yep, really like this pick.
Honestly, A+ here.
Yep, A+. In a lot of mock drafts, we saw him falling almost all the way to 7 or 8.
Yeah,
but with New York taking him at 5, I think that's a steal almost.
This draft for New York, I'll say this draft was great.
Yes.
A+ pick there. Ikem Ekwonu, NC State offensive tackle, goes to the Carolina Panthers at pick 6.
This is this is an A+ for me. They hit out of the park. I don't think they could have drafted anyone better.
I don't know who's the best offensive lineman in this draft.
Right.
I'm not gonna pretend like I have the know-how to grade offensive linemen. Based on what I've heard, he's really good. Some people thought Evan Neal was better, but
some people thought Charles Cross was better.
But honestly, they need an offensive lineman. A+.
Yeah.
Not much else you can do. And then pick 7, Evan Neal to the New York Giants, offensive tackle from Alabama. A+ again.
Another A+. They crushed it.
They crushed it. I mean, that was 2 great picks right in a row for Giants. They need lots of things. They need a wide receiver. They need everything. But offensive linemen and defensive linemen, both huge needs and huge impact players. So that's huge.
And I think at the time they took the 2 best available players and they were both big needs for that team. They hit it out of the park.
Agreed.
Evan Neal, good run blocker. We talked about it with our episode with Jared on our random spin draft, but they need Evan Neal because he's the best run blocker. So Saquon just got a lot better. And I do think they take a running back in this draft, by the way.
Yeah. Well, okay. That's for later, but yes. I think that's fair. All right. Pick number 8.
Really interested to what you say about this pick.
Drake London, wide receiver from USC, goes to the Atlanta Falcons. I give this a B. Okay. I give this a B, just a solid B. He's a good wide receiver. The Falcons need wide receivers. I think he was probably the best wide receiver in the draft and possibly the best wide receiver in the draft. And he, I think he should translate to the NFL pretty well. The thing is, I'm not sure wide receiver was the biggest need for the Falcons. And we're moving into a season with the Falcons where their starting QB is Marcus Mariota, who I'm not super confident in. Now, if he works out, that's great. If Marcus Mariota plays well, this is a really good pick. But upgrading their offensive line or anywhere on defense, I mean, Trent McDuffie fell way back. They probably should have tried to trade back. Get a few more picks in the draft. That's true. But
that would have been a good idea. I thought there was better players on the board than Drake London.
I agree.
And I totally agree with what you said. Not wide receiver, not the biggest need. Some people thought it was the biggest need, but I didn't think it was the biggest need for them. We'll see. Maybe this is their Jamar Chase.
Exactly. And that's why I give it a B, because Jamar Chase proved that a wide receiver can make a big impact. It just depends on how well he translates to the NFL. So,
and they have pick 43. So was that the 10th pick in the second round or 11th pick? There will be a quarterback there.
There will be. Yeah.
If they
don't know what quarterback, but yeah.
But now that they've picked wide receiver, I would rather see them go defense because they need defense.
They need defense really bad. I wanted them to pick defense in the first round, but
I would have waited. I'm giving this a C. This pick is C.
I think that's fair. I will bump mine down to a B-. because
Okay.
I didn't want them to draft a wide receiver going into the draft.
Mhm.
I do think he was the best pick they could have made, maybe other than Garrett Wilson, but in terms of wide receiver, but
Mhm.
yeah, I think he was probably the best wide receiver to take there. But yeah, I just don't like the wide receiver pick. All right, pick 9, Seahawks, Charles Cross, Mississippi State offensive tackle.
Where was this pick when they had Russell Wilson?
I
Why
know
didn't
that's
they pick a where? What are they doing?
I don't know. I don't understand why they didn't upgrade their offensive line when they had an amazing quarterback, and then they trade away their quarterback, and they're like, okay, now we better upgrade our offensive line.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying though that it's because Pete Carroll wants to move back to running the ball more, like he did, before with Marshawn Lynch and things like that. He's looking to move back.
Did he run the ball with Marshawn Lynch?
He did, other than when it mattered.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, so that's what a lot of people are saying. If so, good pick. I think it's an A pick. I don't think you could go wrong with Charles Cross. He's a good offensive tackle. Yeah,
A pick.
I
really like this pick. Just makes me frustrated that they wouldn't have done this 5 years ago.
Agreed. No, absolutely. All right. Garrett Wilson, Ohio State wide receiver, goes to the New York Jets. With their last pick, they got a corner. Now they got a wide receiver. They needed a wide receiver. I still think they should have gone defense again, but
the 49ers tried to move up here and trade Debo at this pick, but the Jets turned it down.
They tried to? Really?
Yes, that's what I heard.
That's ridiculous. If that's true, the Jets, this is an F.
Really? You think it's an F?
Well, if compared to that trade, compared to getting Deebo Samuel, yeah, it's an F, because they probably could have got Deebo Samuel. I don't know. If the 49ers were asking for more than just this pick, then I understand it.
As I say, it depends on what the 49ers were asking for, and I'm sure they were asking for a ton, because Deebo, in my opinion, is one of the best offensive players in the league.
Right. If it was just a straight up trade Deebo for this pick,
no, they would have gotten way more, but
yeah, I don't know. It depends on what the 49ers were asking for. But Garrett Wilson, for me, I think it's I don't know. I don't love the fact they take a wide receiver this early. I would have wanted to trade back if I were them, or possibly. I mean, this is deep wide receiver class. Trade back or take another defensive player or offensive lineman. That's what I would have done here. I give this a C. I don't like this pick for the Jets.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to give it an A-. Some people thought Garrett Wilson was the number 1 wide receiver in this class, and I'm sure the Jets didn't think he'd be there at 10, so that's why they took him.
That's fair. I'll give it a C+, but I'm not going above that.
Yeah, and they needed him. Zach Wilson needed him.
That is true. Zach Wilson did need it really bad. Nah, I'll just stick where I am.
Yeah,
all right.
stay with it.
Chris Olave, Ohio State wide receiver.
Before that, though, this was a trade. So the Saints traded up. The Commies were here at pick 11.
That's right.
And so the Saints traded them their first round, pick 16, third round, pick 98, and fourth round, pick 120 for this 11.
Just this 11 pick
to move up and take Chris Olave.
Well, I guess it's fair, because there would have been 2 wide receivers taken before, and Chris Olave could have gone. So Chris Olave went to the Saints. We knew the Saints were going to take a wide receiver in this draft, pretty much. I mean,
I would give it a B. I think they knew.
I agree.
They were worried. I think that they were going to get they weren't going to get their guy.
Yeah,
but I don't know about moving up to get Chris Olave. I mean, I guess Chris Olave was their guy, Olave, and they really wanted him, but they could have stayed in 16 and still got a good wide receiver.
Yeah, I don't really understand that, but I guess they really wanted Chris Olave, so I'll give it a B too. It's not a bad pick. It's not a great pick. I don't know.
Yeah,
the trade up was a little weird, but
Chris Olave and Michael Thomas, if he can stay on the field, that's good.
That should be good.
Yeah.
But moving on to pick 12, Jamison
Another
Williams.
trade. Another trade.
Yes. Another
So
trade.
The Lions traded up here. They got the 12th pick and the 46th pick in the second round. The Vikings were here. The Vikings trade back to get the 32nd pick, last pick in the first round, the 34th pick. So it's at the second pick in the second round, and then third round pick 66. I thought the Vikings, that's really good.
That is really good for the Vikings. They're already a good team, and they can get a lot of solid players in those.
Yeah.
And if they can land a steal somewhere in there, that's great.
Oh yeah. This just tells me more about the Detroit Lions. They really needed a wide receiver. And I think, of course, they got scared. They saw Drake London, Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave gone. Jamison Williams goes at pick 12, my favorite wide receiver in this draft. I think this is huge. The fourth wide receiver off the board. Obviously, the other teams didn't like his injury. But
yeah, well, here's the thing. For me, Jamison Williams, with this pick, taking Jamison Williams, the one thing the Detroit Lions can really do with this pick is for the next year, they do not just put Jamison Williams on the field and say, all right, produce. Don't make him play every snap. Don't have him play even every game if you don't want to. What you need to focus on is rehabilitation from the injury and development of the wide receiver to work against NFL cornerbacks. That's the two things they need to focus on this year. And then next year, or, they have they still have a pretty early second round pick. Either next year, take a QB or take a QB with your second round pick. One of the two. Do what you can do. But I think they need a new QB if they're going to go this early with a wide receiver. Jared Goff is serviceable, but not a great QB. I think they're in rebuild mode. That's the thing. So in rebuild mode, in the first year of rebuild mode with this new coach, kind of,
getting Aiden Hutchinson and Jamison Williams though in the first round, I think that's big. And they didn't give up anything for next year. They did give up their second round and third round picks though. And that could be a lot, but I think they got their guys that they wanted. So it's not an A, it's a B for me. But
yeah, I agree. It's a B for me. But
next year is a good QB class. They knew that. So I don't. Yes. It's kind of weird. Like, do we take a QB? Probably not. Let's move up and get our guy Jamison Williams.
Right. It's a B for me as long as they're focusing on
QB next year.
QB next year. Yeah, exactly.
All right, pick 13, another trade. So 3 trades in a row. The Eagles received the 13th pick, and the Texans were here. They received the 15th pick, so they moved back 2 spots. But then they also get the Eagles' 4th round, pick 124, 5th round, pick 162, and 5th round, pick 166. So they got 4 picks out of this. 3 on day 3. That's right. I think the Lions, when I look at all these other trades, the Lions gave up way too much for that to move up.
I agree.
But, then the Eagles here, they move up and they take Jordan Davis, D-line, Georgia.
Yeah.
Another Georgia player.
I think it's a good pick. Both of their Fletcher Cox, who's their star D tackle, and Javon Hargraves, I think. Mm-hmm. Is that right? Yeah, Javon Hargrave. Both D tackles. They're entering their final years of their contract. Maybe they're worried they can't pay them. Maybe they're just looking for an upgrade. Or youth. Fletcher Cox is getting kind of older. Jordan Davis, he's a good player. If the Eagles thought they needed a D tackle, this is a great pick.
I don't think that they should have moved up. I think that he might have been there.
He might have, but what I'm thinking is they had some sort of like verifiable information that either the Ravens or the Texans were going to select Jordan Davis.
Yeah.
I can't imagine there's any other reason that they moved up 2 picks.
Right. I'm sure the Texans called him like, hey, we're taking Jordan Davis. You want him?
That might be exactly what happened. That might be exactly what happened. And the Eagles said, that's exactly who we want. Uh-huh. Okay, fine.
Right.
But
it's an A pick for me, though.
I do agree. It's an A pick. He's a good player. I think any team could have used him, maybe other than a few teams.
I'm actually going to change it to an A- based on the trade.
Yeah, that's fair. A minus. I'll give it an A minus too, because
right.
I agree. I don't understand why they moved up 2 spots. But yeah. Kyle Hamilton to the Baltimore Ravens. Finally, a non-trade.
Yep.
Pick 14, Kyle Hamilton, safety from Notre Dame. I mean, it's an A pick for me. He's a really good player. Ravens looking to upgrade their defense, never a bad thing. They could have used a wide receiver somewhere in here, but you know, they got a good player.
Yeah.
Pick number 15.
Kenyon
Green, offensive guard from Texas A&M. This was the trade. The Texans got this pick from the Eagles. And I mean, if they think he's good, I guess that's a good pick. They need offensive linemen. So
a lot of people didn't think he was the best interior offensive lineman in the draft. Who knows? I know he's a freak athlete, I think. But I mean, they needed that. They addressed the need. He's good.
Yeah.
I would give him an A. I might give him a B plus. But actually, to move back and get Kenyon Green, A minus.
Yeah, I agree. A for me. Solid A.
Pick 16, Washington Commies.
They moved back from pick 11.
Yeah.
For this pick, they got wide receiver Jahan Dotson from Penn State.
Jahan Dotson. Interesting. He went before Treylon Burks. They picked him over Treylon Burks.
Yes, it's a very interesting over Treylon Burks, over a few guys. Who else?
Pickens.
Pickens. Yeah, I guess just Treylon Burks and Pickens. But yeah, we really like Pickens. But I mean, yeah, I don't know a whole lot about Jahan Dotson, but if they really Jahan Dotson, sorry.
It's a
Jahan Dotson.
Jahan, that's your Georgia coming out. Jahan Dotson.
Jahan Dotson. He if they like him, I guess it's good. B plus. I would have rather seen them actually solid B, not a B plus.
Yeah.
Give it a solid B. If they, I mean, they, you know, that's a secondary to Terry McLaurin. That's pretty good. So
I thought they should have gone defense here, but
I did think they should have gone defense.
They could have gone quarterback, but once again, quarterback is stacked this year. Take the best player on your board. If it's not a quarterback, take him.
I think that's fair. And
I'm giving him a solid B.
I'm actually going to move down to a B minus.
Okay.
B minus for this one. All right. Moving on to pick 17.
Los Angeles Chargers. Who'd they take? They took
Zion Johnson. Offensive guard, Boston College. There you go. A pick for me. I think they could have gone defense, maybe, but there's not a whole lot of people they need. And going offensive line is never a bad thing, especially to protect a QB like Herbie.
Yep.
So
I think this is a great pick. A.
Yeah, I agree.
They sat there. They didn't trade anything. They move up, move down. Got Zion Johnson, who I thought was the best interior offensive lineman in the draft. Well, guard. I would say guard in the draft. I mean, and they drafted offensive line last year, and we know how that worked out. He was a Pro Bowler. So
right.
Their offensive line is going to be great. They have 2 good wide receivers. I think they got another wide receiver.
I don't
remember. But their offense is going to be amazing this year. I really like this pick.
Yeah, I do too. Pick 18.
Trade time. The Titans traded up with they traded AJ Brown to the Eagles for this pick. And then so the Titans got this 18th pick and 3rd round pick 101. So we know that, and we heard that AJ Brown didn't want to be there and they weren't going to pay him. So they trade him away to the Eagles. Good on you, Eagles. You needed that. And then they pick wide receiver Treylon Burks, who's basically AJ Brown. I don't know if he's AJ Brown 2.0, but pretty darn close.
He's supposed to be AJ Brown 2.0. That's his big comparison. So
Right.
If he works out, this is a great pick. Yeah, I don't really know. I don't understand why they wouldn't just pay AJ Brown and then, not do that trade. This is a win for the Eagles, in my opinion.
Yep.
Not for the Titans. I don't like the fact that they traded away someone who was already established as a good receiver to get someone who you don't know anything about yet. I mean, obviously we know some about him, but we don't know how he's going to work out in the NFL. It's risky. I don't understand it really. But I'm going to give this a C.
Same.
I don't like that. All right. Pick 19, the Saints. Trevor Penning, offensive tackle out of Northern Iowa. A+ pick.
A+. They needed that.
Yep.
All right. It mattered who was there. Just take the best tackle.
Agreed. Take an offensive lineman. You're good. All right. Pick 20, Kenny Pickett, Pittsburgh quarterback to the Pittsburgh Steelers. So once again, staying in state like Aiden Hutchinson.
Yes.
Staying in state. In fact, the Pittsburgh college team and the Pittsburgh Steelers share a practice facility. So that makes me feel pretty good about this pick. I think the Pittsburgh might have been scouting him for the past 4 years and like what they saw. But anyways, yeah, there you go. There's Kenny Pickett to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
What was your grade?
I'm going to give it a B because I think they must be pretty confident on him to take him here. But I don't really understand why they went out and traded for Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah.
I think Mitch Trubisky could have been the starter and they could have used this pick for something they needed a little bit more. But
same. I am okay with their QB situation right now. And I don't think Kenny Pickett is like what we see in first round draft picks when it comes to quarterbacks. You want a starter. You want to draft a starter right away, right? You would think. But I would have gone somewhere else with this pick. I'm actually going to give this a C. He's not even my top. I think he's not even like top 3 quarterback for me.
He was my number 2 quarterback behind Malik Willis. For me, I really do think that Pittsburgh must have been super confident on him. So that's the only reason I give it a higher grade than a C. I'm giving it a B because this tells me that they were really confident. Right. Pick 21, Trent McDuffie from Washington, cornerback. Now, this was a trade, correct?
Trade time. So pick 21, the Chiefs received pick 21 and they traded with the Patriots. So no surprise there. They trade back for the 29th pick, the 94th pick, and pick 121.
Yep. And with this
is your number 1 guy, Josiah. What are you thinking?
I think this is an A+ pick. I think they can use defensive backs after losing a few this offseason. The Chiefs can. Obviously, they traded up because they didn't think he'd make it back to them at pick 29. So that's who they took.
I really like this.
Yeah, I love this pick.
The next picks, like the next 6-7 picks, I think are home runs. I can't believe some of these players fell this far, but it was going to be that way because there's like 50 really first round.
Right. Well, the crazy thing is no one expected 6 wide receivers to get picked in the top. What is it? The top 18 picks.
Right.
That's a third of the picks were wide receivers.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I don't like that. So like the bottom half of this draft, I think is awesome.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, no, A+ pick for sure.
Yep.
All right. Pick 22.
Green Bay Packers. Did they go wide receiver?
No, they did not.
Quay Walker.
Yeah.
From Georgia. First linebacker, Quay Walker.
Inside linebacker. And that's insane.
I told you and Jared he was the number 2 linebacker. I was wrong. He was the
Turns out he was the number 1.
Number 1 linebacker.
Yeah, no one expected that. I expected him to go 3. I expected him to go 3rd behind Nakobe Dean and Devin Lloyd. I am surprised Nakobe Dean did not go in the first round.
I'm not.
Um,
I told you he was number 3.
Well, yeah, but still, I'm just surprised they didn't all 3 go.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that even if Quay Walker goes before him, no one picked him. I mean, there were some weird picks in this first round. One coming up for sure. All the wide receivers is a little weird to me, but yeah. Anyways, Quay Walker, Georgia. Honestly, for me, this pick A-.
Oh, okay. I didn't think you would say A. Yeah,
I think it's a good pick. I just don't know that it was the best pick they could have made.
Mm-hmm. I think this is great for Green Bay. 6 wide receivers gone. Don't reach on a wide receiver. There's a ton in this draft. You'll be able to get some.
Now, if I were Green Bay, I might want to trade up for a wide receiver in the second round.
Maybe.
The Green Bay does have 2 second round picks.
Yeah, 53 and 59.
So if they can leverage one of those up a little higher, that'd be nice.
Yeah, that's fine with me. I don't even think they need to do that. I think they'll fall. A good wide receiver will fall to them. I love this Quay Walker pick. A
minus.
A plus.
All right,
23.
23
trade time.
Yeah.
Okay, so first, the Ravens had this pick, and they traded this pick with theirs. No, the Cardinals had this pick. Sorry, the Cardinals had this pick. They traded to the Ravens for Hollywood Brown and pick number 100, which I think is retarded. The Cardinals are really stupid. Watching last year's draft and this year's draft, I don't see the Cardinals.
I don't love that trade for the
Cardinals. Kyler Murray, get out of there. But then the Ravens had this pick, and then they traded back with the Buffalo Bills. The Bills got pick 23. The Ravens got pick 25 and 130. And then the Bills move up here and select Kaiir Elam, cornerback from Florida.
This to me, honestly, this is an A pick for me. I love this. Upgrading their defense, never a bad idea to upgrade your defense. Upgrading defensive backs, also never a bad idea. Well, usually not a bad idea. The Bills barely need anyone, honestly. On their entire team, there's barely any needs. A lot of people were saying they need a wide receiver. I disagree. I don't think they need a wide receiver. And I'm certainly glad they didn't take one at this point after 6 wide receivers are already gone. I love this pick. This is an A. Solid A.
I'm giving this pick an A minus. I really like Kaiir Elam. I like the pick. The only reason I give it an A minus is because of the trade. I think he still would have been there at pick 25.
That's fair.
They only gave up a 4th round draft pick for him. But right. I mean, why move? I think
I guess they really wanted him. They were maybe nervous the Ravens were going to take him after they already selected one defensive back.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think the Bills just got really excited. Like, oh my gosh, he's still there. We got to move up. Maybe they thought the Cowboys would take him, but they took one last year and he was really good.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's a good pick, A minus, but I don't know if I would have traded.
If that's fair, I'm going to stick with my A, but that is fair. All right, pick number 24, the Cowboys selected offensive tackle Tyler Smith from Tulsa. Now, this to me was
this was
surprising.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm going to give it a B minus.
Yep.
He had a ton of penalties this past year, and if you can't not have a bunch of penalties in college, it gets harder in NFL. And so if they can work that out of him, he'll be fine. But yeah, I'm going to give this a B minus because I don't.
They needed him. They need an offensive lineman.
I agree. So
I don't know if he was the best tackle on the board.
I agree.
But maybe we're going to find out. So that's why I give it a B- to. I mean, the Cowboys seem to do fine with offensive linemen and they pick decent, good linemen. We'll see. It'll be interesting to watch this one. Pick 25.
Pick 25. Ravens. They moved back to select a guy who I at one point believed would be the number one pick in the draft. Tyler Linderbaum, center from Iowa. And let me tell you what, he is. I think this was the best pick they could have made. I think this A+. I think this might be the best pick in the entire first round in terms of value for their position. Okay. I don't understand how Tyler Linderbaum fell this far. Centers since 2000, centers have a 100% hit rate, which means that every team that has drafted a center in the first round has signed them to a second contract, has signed them past their rookie contract. Every center so far. So safe position to draft at. Obviously that's kind of a pick by pick basis, but maybe it tells you something about the position in general. If you're good in college, you're going to be good in the NFL. It's a tough position already, but people talk about his undersized arms. I don't understand that. That's a joke. Stupid to me, but to me, this is an A+ pick. Love it.
Yeah. A+ for sure. The Ravens killed it. They traded away Hollywood Brown, who I didn't like. I didn't think he was good.
I agree.
Granted, we saw Lamar Jackson retweet some fan that said we got rid of Hollywood
to be
Brown,
fair,
effing Ravens.
He also Lamar Jackson just tweeted out WTF, but
that's it.
And I will say, if I was Lamar Jackson, I would be pretty peeved by that.
Why?
Hollywood Brown may not be the best wide receiver in the nation, but he was the best wide receiver on their team. And
that's true.
Who's he going to throw to now? Rashad Bateman? He didn't do anything last year. Maybe he takes a big step forward in year 2. Maybe they're planning on picking George Pickens or something like that. But Debo? I don't like that. Or trading for Debo, or even the guy from North Dakota State,
Christian Watson, I believe.
Yes, Christian Watson, I think. Mm-hmm. He they're planning on getting one of those guys.
Yeah, their next pick is pick
that's
45.
Great. I assume that it seems like Hollywood Brown and Lamar Jackson had a pretty good relationship in terms of, just guys being, so being friends. So I just, I don't know. I can understand why Lamar Jackson was angry about that. But as long as the Ravens are planning on getting a wide receiver from somewhere else, I mean, they had an amazing first round.
Yeah. I love this pick, Tyler Linderbaum, A+. Pick 26.
Another trade.
Yes.
Or this was the trade from earlier.
No. The Jets move back into the first round. And they receive this pick 26, and pick 101 in the third round. The Titans trade their second round pick 35, third round pick 69, nice, and fifth round pick 163. So the Titans are just trading like crazy.
This is insane.
And then the Jets select Jermaine Johnson.
This, I didn't like Jermaine Johnson as much as some people, but this was a steal for the Jets. Yes. A lot of people thought Jermaine Johnson would go top 5.
Yeah, that's right.
He didn't end up going top 5.
He went,
which I think is fair, but yeah, he went 26th. And in terms of, just in terms of first rounds, the Jets really got some great picks. I know I didn't give Garrett Wilson as good of a grade,
but he's a good player.
He's a good player and
addressed the need.
And when you look at their entire first round draft, he actually ends up being a pretty good pick. So they had a great first round.
Yeah, this is an A. This pick is
I agree.
An A. Moving up, they gave up second, third, fifth round draft picks for this. I'm okay with that. You get Ahmad Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, and Jermaine Johnson. That's
amazing.
Anytime.
Amazing.
Pick 27, another trade. The Jaguars then move back into the first round. They trade with the Buccaneers, and they give the Bucks pick 33, 106, and 180. And they select Devin Lloyd, linebacker out of Utah. A plus, another
A
steal.
plus. Yeah, another great steal. I love it. I don't know if he's, maybe he is not as good as Quay Walker. Hard to know at this point, but most people thought he would be the number one linebacker off the board. Most people thought he was the best, the most polished linebacker off the board. Jaguars needed a linebacker. They've already got a solid defense. They got Trayvon Walker I shouldn't say they already have a solid defense, but they have a few good defensive players to build around. Is what I mean. My bad. But they got Trayvon Walker and Devin Lloyd. This is a great first round for them. This is another A plus. I like this pick a lot.
They lost Miles Jack. They needed to take a linebacker. Why not move up and take arguably the best one?
Yes, agreed. All right, pick number 28, Devontae Wyatt, defensive tackle from Georgia, goes to the Green Bay Packers. Now, I'll say this. I love Devontae Wyatt as a pick. I think he's going to be great. I cannot give this higher than a B. Their defense is already good. They need a wide receiver. I understand that picking wide receiver in the first round is ridiculous sometimes, and especially at this point where there's 6 gone. I think the Packers should have taken offensive line or wide receiver here, and I don't understand why they didn't. He's a really good player though, so I'm gonna give it a B plus, but I can't give it an A.
I'm giving it an A plus. The Green Bay Packers crushed it.
I think he was probably the best player available. I'll say that.
Yes, I think with both picks, they picked best available. They have what we said earlier, pick 53 and 59 in round 2. And I think there will be guys that they can take. They can take an offensive lineman and a wide receiver and get solid players at those positions in both picks. Why not take the 2 best defensive players on the board and probably the best player on the board at that time? Devontae Wyatt, Quay Walker, both from Georgia as well. A plus for the Green Bay Packers at that pick and in the first round.
Okay. Next up, from a trade from earlier, the 21st pick went to the Kansas City Chiefs. This pick went to the Patriots. They 29. Pick number 29. They took Cole Strange from UTC, Chattanooga.
Yeah, another guy, right?
Chattanooga.
You got all these Georgian Chattanooga guys.
Yeah, I live very close to them. I, in fact, almost went to UTC instead of where I am going to college. This is crazy to me. He was not even on my
he wasn't even on the radar for first round.
But I have so much confidence in Bill Belichick with offensive line. This has to end up being a great pick. I don't understand. This has to be a guy that Belichick said, this guy's going to be good no matter who takes him or where they take him. And that's how Belichick picks. If he sees a guy and says, you know what, this guy's going to be good, maybe he'll be available when it gets to me at next round. But what if someone else notices it? I'm going to take him now. This is the top guy on my board. I'm taking him. And honestly, from a confidence perspective and from their front office perspective, I'm giving this an A. I think he's going to work out. He wasn't on my radar at all, but I think it's going to work out. A lot of people are making fun of him for this pick, but I'm giving an A.
You move back, you select Cole Strange, who I don't know if you saw the video of Sean McVay, the coach of the Rams. They wanted him at pick 104 in the 3rd round. They thought he would be there.
Yeah.
He's not there now.
Right.
Belichick, who I agree, their front office, they know. And Strange, he's going to be a starter. He will be a starter day one. Do you remember?
He's got great film. He's only allowed 1 sack, I think, in the past.
He dominated the Senior Bowl. Dominated at the Senior Bowl.
He's done amazing by all metrics. I don't know why. I don't know why he wasn't on anyone's boards. Probably just because he was from UTC.
Probably.
But
you remember the last small school offensive lineman that was like big time for the Patriots?
No, I can't say I remember.
Logan Mankins, my dog, Fresno State. So they know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing. Absolutely. All right. This is that's an A pick for me. Yep. Pick 30, George Karlaftis, defensive end from Purdue, goes to the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, this is an A pick.
Every mock draft I saw, the mock drafts we made, George Karlaftis went here. Everywhere I looked.
Yeah, this is an A pick. I think it's solid. I think they needed a defensive end. He's not the most nuanced pass rusher, but he will just run over some people. I mean, he plays hard, strong defense. And yeah, I'm excited to watch him play. I think he'll be a good player, and I think this is a great pick for them at this position. I think it might end up being a steal. So,
oh really? Yeah, I still don't know what to think of Karlaftis. I know he's a good player. I know he's strong. When I look at the other edge rushers on the board, Ajabo and Ebiketie, Arnold from Penn State, I think those guys are probably a little better, but I mean, you can't go wrong with Karlaftis. It'll be fun. They fill a need. It'll be fun to see how he works out.
Right. Well, moving on to pick number 31, the runners-up from this past year, the Cincinnati Bengals selected Daxton Hill, safety from Michigan. Now, this one, I don't know what to think about this. I didn't expect this. I think they should have gone offensive line, but there wasn't a lot of offensive line left. Bernard Raymond from Central Michigan was still available, and I think they should have taken him here. And for that reason, I'm giving this a B-, but they hit on another need at safety, and they already had a good defense. Upgrading your defense is never bad. So, I mean, B- for me. I think they should have gone offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you with your point of the reason they probably didn't do it is because there's not really offensive linemen on the board that feel comfortable taking right here in the first round. But their next pick isn't until pick 63 of round 2. So they got to wait a whole nother round. And I don't think that an offensive lineman is going to be left, like a really good one is going to be left for them to pick. But Daxton Hill, great safety. It could have gone either way. Like picking a safety, they must have really liked him because you had Jalen Petrie, Lewis Seen, who were both very good. And then you also had Daxton Hill. So they must have just liked him a little more. I mean, I'm going to give this an A, probably maybe an A-. But yeah, I totally agree. Their biggest need was offensive line. Do you take one there? I don't know. But I like the Daxton Hill pick.
This next pick is we're back to the trade from the Detroit Lions up on pick 12. Crazy trade. Don't understand why they traded all the way up there for a receiver, but
whatever.
Whatever. Pick 32. The Vikings got Lewis Seen, safety from Georgia, rounding out Georgia's historic 5 defensive player draft. Had to mention it at least once.
Yes.
Lewis Seen, safety from Georgia. He's a great player. He hits people hard. They have the 34th pick.
Yep.
Is that correct?
From the Detroit Lions.
They have the 34th pick from the Detroit Lions.
It's awesome. I mean, the Vikings did great.
Yeah, the Vikings did great. This is an awesome pick. This is an A+ pick for me. Taking into context the trade back, way back, and getting a really good defensive player. He hits hard too. I mean, this guy Woo.
Okay, so they took safety, right?
Yes.
They at 12, Kyle Hamilton was available. They could have picked Kyle Hamilton.
They could have.
Does missing Kyle Hamilton hurt your grade at all? Because it doesn't mind. I'm okay.
No, I'm okay with this. They moved back and they selected a guy that we don't know, but he may end up being as good as Kyle Hamilton.
And they got another pick 34, and there's a ton of players on the board.
Yes, there are so many players still on the board. I mean, if they want a linebacker, Nakobe Dean. If they want a defensive tackle, there's I can't remember his name, but the guy from
Travis Jones, Logan Hall.
Yeah, those guys.
Marvin
if they want
a job, oh my gosh, we're going to go over that right now. But
if they want an offensive lineman, Bernard Raymond. If they want a wide receiver, George Pickens. Yeah, there's crazy amounts of players still available. I think this is a great move for them. A+.
I'm just going solid A. Insane draft. Now, I mean, we touched on most of the people that weren't drafted that are still on the board. I mean, no Malik Willis, only one quarterback, and it was not Malik Willis. So Malik Willis is still on the board. Desmond Ridder, Matt Corral, who were thought maybe they could go in the first round. There's your quarterbacks. No running backs in the first round. I am stoked. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Nobody.
No. That would have been dumb this year. That would have been dumb, especially this year. Yes. I think usually running backs shouldn't go in the first round. This year, they definitely shouldn't have gone in the first round.
Right.
And they didn't. So that's good.
Wide receivers left on the board: Pickens, Sky Moore, Christian Watson, John Mechie. 4 wide receivers that I think were first round talent.
A lot of people
even
like
David Bell from Purdue.
Yeah. A lot of people like Calvin Austin from
I mean, Khalil Shakir
Memphis.
From Boise. He's good. Romeo Dubs from Nevada. I mean, there are a lot of good wide receivers still. No tight ends went. And where some mocks had Trey McBride from Colorado State, or even Greg Dulcich was being talked about. No tight ends, which I think was good. But those guys are studs. You talked about offensive linemen, not too many left, but maybe one.
Yeah, Bernard Raymond, I think, could go and he'd be a good pick. There's other offensive linemen in the draft, but I don't know much about them. I'll be honest.
We saw edge. I mean, D-line, inside, you talked about inside interior D-line. Edge rushers, I think there's 4, maybe 5 really good edge rushers still. Ajabo, Arnold Ebiketie from Penn State. Boye Mafe, who was mocked to go first round. Some people had him going there. He's still on the board.
Travis Jones is who I was thinking about. I think you said that. On defensive tackle.
Mm-hmm. And then the linebacking class. We only have 2 linebackers.
Oh my gosh.
This is insane.
I can't see there's going to be at least 4 linebackers taken in the second round. And that's my prediction.
I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if 5 go.
I agree. I wouldn't either. You said David Ajabo, Boye Mafe. Those edge rushers and outside linebackers, but inside linebackers: Christian Harris, Nakobe Dean, Leo Chenal, Chad Muma, Channing Tyndall, Troy Anderson, Brandon Smith from Penn State. There's tons of linebackers in this. Yeah, in this class it could go. Andrew Booth is still available from Clemson, the corner.
Kyler Gordon, who a lot of people say one of my favorites, who I like. I just like these small school guys. Tariq Woolen out of UTSA, big corner, still on the board. It'd be fun to see him. It's going to be fun to see where he goes.
Safeties, you got Jalen Petrie still available.
Yep. Jaquan Brisker.
Yep. A couple of guys. But yeah, I mean,
and the God King punter Matt Ariza is still on the board. Come on, baby.
Jake Camarda from Georgia. Probably don't draft him, but you should sign him after the draft.
Oh man.
See how he does.
I will tell
you. Anyways,
Matt Ariza will get drafted. He's amazing.
Who was the best? Who had the best first round to you?
Green Bay Packers. No, Green Bay Packers did awesome, but New York Jets.
New York Jets.
Oh no, I take it back. Both New York teams, dude, did awesome.
That is true. Both New York teams did really well. I'm going to go with the New York Giants. New York Giants. They only had two picks. But they've got the 36th pick.
Who sucked? Just sucked it up.
Who had the worst draft?
Yeah, that's a better way to put it.
Honestly, for me, either the Falcons,
yeah,
or the Commanders.
Yep, I agree. I'd also throw the Titans on there.
Yeah, the Titans. That's pretty crap. I don't understand why they did that, but yeah, for me, either the Falcons or I'm going to go with the Commanders because they traded back and then there were a ton of people available still at pick 16. They had a great knock it out of the park pick here. They could have taken McDuffie. They could have taken a linebacker. They could have taken Zion Johnson. They could have taken Tyler Linderbaum. They could have taken Jermaine Johnson. They could have taken many. Yeah. Devontae Wyatt, George Karlaftis, Lewis, and anybody.
You're hurting the commies' feelings.
It's horrible. I don't understand why they picked a wide receiver, especially Jahan Dotson, because he probably still would have been available at, maybe not at their next pick because their next pick isn't for a long time, but they could have traded up in the second round. It's a lot easier to trade up in the second round than it is in the first round. So yeah, they traded back. I don't really understand that whole decision. I didn't like that. That's my worst team.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I also thought the Eagles had a good draft. They got AJ Brown and Jordan Davis.
Actually, yeah, when you put in the AJ Brown pick, the Eagles, they compete for number one for sure. You are right.
Also, another one that I don't like.
Chiefs did good.
Yeah, the Lions, even though they got Aiden Hutchinson, the trade up, they gave up a lot and got Jamison Williams. I don't think they need to do that.
I don't think they needed to either. Even if he is the best receiver in the class, it's a deep wide receiver class, and trading that far up for a guy that you could have gotten later, or you could have gotten a different receiver later. You gave up a lot. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that either. But
right. And same with the Saints. I think they could have just stayed where they're at.
Yeah, but their draft was okay. So Chris Olave, they only moved up 2 spots. They didn't give up too much. So
super fun first round.
Yes. A lot of crazy stuff happened, and I'm excited for the second round.
Oh, I'm pumped. Let us know your winners and losers of the first round, and we will be sure to, we'll get this out on social media. Make sure to follow us there. And we are working on a live stream. We were going to live stream last night, but we forgot to.
Yes.
That YouTube gives us
24-hour wait time. We didn't know about that. Anyways.
Yeah, but thanks for tuning in.
Yes.
Josiah and I appreciate it. Hey, tell one friend about West Nile virus. We got to spread the virus. Spread the virus.
You can tell two if you want. If you just happen to be at, party later and you're a bunch of guys who like football or basketball or whatever, just be like, hey, I was watching these guys earlier. They kind of annoying, but give them a try.
When it comes to West Nile virus, this one, you don't have to stand 6 feet apart. We want everybody really close together talking about West Nile virus. Spread that virus. All right, everybody.
There you go.
We'll see you guys later. We will be back tomorrow to talk about second and third round and NBA playoffs.
Maybe even tonight. We'll see.
Yes. All right. See you guys.
See ya.